What's up, y'all? This is like a part two to the shadow work video. Um, in this video, I'm gonna break it down to you in an analogy, using a film. The particular film I'm gonna use is Hook, which was the version of Peter Pan that I grew up with, as far as like in the '90s. Um, that was like one of my big films from my childhood. It was something that we watched a lot. Um, and it's kind of funny because when you stop to think about it and you rewatch the movie, uh, given what I've told you about shadow work, there's a lot of that represented in that film. Um, so for anybody that doesn't know, it's Peter Pan is basically the movie, but it is Robin Williams plays the part of Peter Pan, um, and it's like represented as Hook. So it's about Captain Hook, and in the movie, Robin Williams, or Peter Pan, goes on to become an adult, have a family. He becomes that stereotypical New York City busy businessman with the big phone and always missing the moments with his children and always being on the phone, always looking through papers, and you know what I'm saying. You know the trope, the stereotype, the prototype, because it's real. Um, and unfortunately, that's a lot of people these days. Overworked, not enough time, too many distractions, a lot of moments missed. But in the movie, um, he keeps getting the warnings about spending time with his family and not so much on work, to reprioritize his life and put his family closer to the front and put work a little bit behind. Um, he misses his son's baseball game. He misses his daughter's play. It's a lot going on. You know what I mean? And everywhere he's at, he's working. Pretty much is the representation. So he goes to visit he goes to visit family or familiar in the movie for Christmas, for winter break or whatever, and they get there, and that's when the movie picks up, and he's forced to go back to his past and face his shadow. Now, quite specifically in this movie, there's a scene where Peter Pan, Robin Williams, the adult version, runs into his shadow, but the shadow that is him as a adolescent or a young teen or a child, right? And the shadow is doing different things than him, like psyching him out, messing with him, teasing him. Um, so this shows that he's not in alignment with his shadow. He's not in alignment with his past self. He's forgotten who he was. He's been so absorbed about who he's trying to become that he forgot who he was to start with, which made him who he is for real. So that's the thing. In that film, there's an older gentleman. I forget what his name was in the film. He's a good actor, but he's the polar opposite of Peter Pan. They're in the same house and they're literally representing polar opposites. Peter Pan is so obsessed with his present that he forgot his past. He's not in alignment with his shadow. He's not remembering who he was. The older gentleman is lost in his shadow. So he can't be present in the now because he's too worried about his shadow. I lost my marbles. See what I mean? I lost my marbles. He lost his marbles. He's lost his mind in the current because he's too stuck in his shadow. Now, this video isn't going to be debating who in that scenario is better off. but it's just to show the representation that's there, right? And he says, the older gentleman says, Pan must fight, Pan must fly. Meaning he's got to remember who he was to go rescue his kids. Really, all it means is he needs to remember the child in him so he can be present with his current children. So he remembers what was important to him as a child. So he can show that and display that and be that for his children. You see what I mean? So that there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of family things going on here. There's a lot of spiritual going on. There's a lot of self-mastery or self-discovery happening in this film. So then we all know how the story goes. He goes back to Neverland, and everybody from his past remembers him, but he doesn't remember them. Everybody from his past, they haven't aged. They're still the same. He has. You see what I mean? Even his adversary, Hook, doesn't warn him a credible adversary anymore because he's forgotten so much about who he used to be. So he challenges him and he gives him like 3 days or whatever to learn how to fight, to rescue his children. You know, it's almost like even his enemy is serving a good purpose for him. You see what I'm saying? So he goes back and he remembers. He learns how to fly, he learns how to crow, he learns how to fight. He becomes in alignment with his shadow, and then you just see him dressed as his shadow was dressed, with his chest out and his hands on his hips and his head up in the air, crowing, preparing himself to fly. You see, they're in alignment now. He's now back with his gifts. He's re-accessed his gifts in his adult life, and that's what's going to help him finish up his life. You see what I'm saying? So I just thought it was interesting. In talking about shadow work, it reminded me of that film for some reason, because that's literally what it seems to be about, is family values, priorities, and shadow work. Remembering the child in you and not forgetting to be that for your family that you're trying to build. Otherwise, you're not even in alignment with the life you created. You see what I'm saying? Like, to be somebody like that, you're better off being alone and pursuing that until you decide you want that. You see what and I'm not telling nobody what to do. That's not what this video is about. But it's just me trying to show you the analogy of where shadow work is actually represented. It's not some like elusive, like mystical, magical sorcery thing. It's literally psychology, personal growth and development, acceptance and forgiveness, healing, understanding, perspective, all the things. That's why I told you in my last video, don't be afraid of it. When you go do your shadow work, you're going to see a lot of ghosts. The only person you're going to have to really actually deal with is you. It's your shadow. If you scare yourself, if you make yourself nervous, if you make yourself sad, if you make yourself have anxiety, if you make yourself have all these things, what chance do you have? The world's already going to do that to you. Don't do it to yourself. Go back and heal yourself and gain acceptance for who you are, and gain acceptance and forgiveness for the things you've done and things other people have done to you, and then live accordingly in what matters right now, which, if you have one, that would be your family, particularly your children, because they are the ones that need you. Nobody else needs you, for real. You don't owe nobody else a thing. So you just owe the people that you come in contact with to be kind and genuine. You see what I mean? Or to know your limits and boundaries and have distance until you're ready. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to consider when you get into your shadow work and you start unpacking the things about yourself that you left behind. And I hope anyone that's watching this that goes on that adventure, you have everything to gain and nothing to lose by doing so. It's why most of society runs around thinking that the worst thing about them is other people. You see what I'm saying? That's absence of shadow work. Them people ain't got nothing to do with you and you. You see what I mean? So think about it. Feel free to go, rewatch the film. It's a great movie. Um, I love it. My kids like it. And see what you get out of it. You might get some stuff out of it too. And you also are going to see what I'm saying. So I hope y'all have a good one.